Enjoying it. Been vibe coding since 2021, before they had chat. It was basically just code autocomplete. First time I ran a local GPT-2 clone. Completely derailed my ML Python study group. Yeah, like I said, I haven't actually sat down and played around with it too much lately. I still followed the talks on who's that guy with what's the name of that guy who is he's got the very pronounced male pattern baldness, who's the famous large language model guy. I think I remember seeing a couple comments saying that I kind of look like him, or at least my hair pattern is like the same as him. Is his name Alex Carpathary or something? Anyway, I saw an interview with that guy, Ilya. Okay, and he was talking about how like we've some of the benchmarks, like the tests and stuff for large language models, are amazing now. Carpathy. I'm just saying that name because it sounds familiar. Can't put a face to it. Is he another AI guy? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, he was commenting that, like, answering the question of like why okay, he was answering the question of why they do so well on the benchmarks, but in like real world economic activity is not necessarily that much greater, and like it's still really bad. He's still really making very fundamental mistakes, where like a human can easily beat it. And he was just speculating that it might be just like the solution space is like there may still be some other thing necessary to get the breakthrough general AI, and what we're kind of building is like an extremely impressive version of like a curve fitted model, where it's like it's really, really good on things that are very, very similar to what you've showed it, but then to go beyond that in certain cases, like it just no amount of telling it that it's wrong will fix it. Founded OpenAI, worked at Tesla. Okay, I have to memorize my famous tech people a bit more. Okay, we fixed a bug. I think to actually get to iron out some of the multiplayer stuff, I'm probably going to take the existing local code that I have and then like merge that in, because I don't basically what I'm doing is I want to start refactoring and moving some interfaces, but I don't want to break them in the existing other code, because once I break it, the breakage kind of it gets bigger and bigger the more I add to it. I think it'll get too hard to merge. Let me think. 22 minutes of working on something. Maybe I'll just space out and play the game. Merge often? Yes. Yeah, my approach is like constantly validate your assumptions, test things often. Every time you make some tiny little change, you got to be super thorough. Otherwise, you make one wrong turn and then you start building upon that. It's just impossible to go back. Is this all the programming you doing today? Yeah, with the making videos is a lot of work. It takes quite a bit of time. Now this has race conditions, so if I move around too fast, it has a problem where, because the client is actually sending commands to literally delete and move the player, you can have a race condition where the player object, because the player is actually a block, that's how I'm going to implement collision detection. The client can basically like delete the player block, and then it ends up in a state where there's no player. It's just an empty block, and then the game crashes because that state is not allowed. And the fix for that will be to eventually to take the movement, the actual code that moves the player block, that has to be on the server, and it has to be in a transaction. But once that's there, then that will mean, oh yeah, and the other thing is I'm gonna have to make some updates to, I'm probably gonna keep everything implemented as blocks. I had originally thought that like clients would like directly read and write the world, well, mostly like write the world of blocks, but I think it'll have to I'll have to send just like commands, which I'll probably just turn into another block type. So there'll be like a movement command block, and then I'll implement like a circular buffer for these commands. So every player object up at that like that high address. Oh yeah, I guess another thing I forgot to I should work on adding. Oh, the frame is broken. It's not good. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, so stuff like movement, I'll have like a circular buffer of commands, and each player will have it's like an allocated buffer. I guess whichever one is the second one to add to the buffer in that tick, we'll end up. I'm going to use optimistic concurrency, optimistic logging, and whichever one fails the race condition, there will have to be a message sent back that the transaction or I guess it's not a, it'll have to just be another message that say actually, I'll probably just I'll send back a message saying that the transaction to write the command block failed, and then the client will have to react to that. How do you learn to architect a multiplayer game? To be honest, technically your question is based on a false premise, which assumes that I know how to make a multiplayer game. I'm just describing how I plan to make it. It's quite possible that everything I'm doing is against best practices. I've Googled for some of this stuff a little bit, and there's some like game engine theory stuff out there. I guess it's probably I think my approach is I think it's probably a fairly solid approach for like a robust and stable processing application, like some ETL project or something. Like if you're just doing some processing of data, I think it's quite possible that if I actually build this, it may have really bad performance. And so very likely, I think a lot of games end up, they'll write it one way and then they immediately realize it's too slow, so then they re-architect it to make it faster. Did you know you could use your game to render a low resolution app in blocks? Yeah, that's the reason I like just blocks. It's so simple, and you can display it anywhere. You can reimagine it. You could even build like a 2D side-scrolling mini game in it if you want on a given layer. Doing something to port 2D apps from bitmapped pixels to 3D voxels, which I believe is the future of desktops. Yeah, I actually, I was thinking like the modern operating system, a truly modern day operating system would be Minecraft. Can you imagine how crazy it would be if like there's so many things in Minecraft. Like the game itself is just so poorly written for the resources they have. Like imagine, like it sounds kind of crazy, but imagine how cool it would be and like convenient if you went to work and you're like, hey, do you have those files for me? And like if you actually built like a little village or city that was your workplace, it was a virtual workplace, and in a lot of ways, you could say that's this is like a silly silly role playing thing, but actually there's like a numerical organizational value in physically arranging things, even if it's in a virtual world, because like when you go to work, it's very common for people. There's people who spend all day organizing spreadsheets. And when you're organizing things in a spreadsheet, the work you're doing is you're literally, you're just changing the Z index of maybe those records, moving it into a different Excel sheet and moving it around. Like, think about, is that really the best interface? Maybe the best way, like if you want to store, GDP reports, maybe a Minecraft chest with a pipe into or with a, what do you call it? With a hopper. You put an Excel sheet into a Minecraft chest, and then it feeds it into a hopper, and then that processes it through macros or something. Have you read the canonical game engine texts? I have not. Is the plan still to take over an Arctic island and fight Canada? No, I'm not going to fight them. That'll just be cool. But yeah, the plan is still world domination. Although the financing, that's really been problematic because the financing has slowed down a lot. HackMatrix, that's what I'm making. I had a Minecraft world loader in HackMatrix. Yeah, it's a neat idea. It seems like it's such a good idea that I think someone will create this. Visual programming, 3D. Yeah, I think like there's I think if you talk to it like, programming in Minecraft, the easiest way to map that is just like, your avatar is like looking at a screen or something. But a really big part of not even just programming, but like the act of doing work on information, like arranging information, sorting things. A lot of that is just about moving stuff around in space. Even like the 3D world, humans are very used to the 3D world. Like think about it. The other thing is, think about how well you know how to navigate around in your file system tree. Like imagine a random folder. Imagine you're in a random folder and you see like the files laid on your desk of a random folder. You probably wouldn't recognize that, but if the files on your computer were a room in a house in Minecraft, and you can see the icons and stuff, our minds are actually much better suited to remember, where you put something. You put something under a chest in this specific room, and that's where your files are. 'It's literally HackMatrix MMO, silly role-playing thing. Mother's an accountant. Literally all she does. She writes code to do it. Yep, in the future, everyone will work in HackMatrix. Like visual programming in 3D. I'd rather program in N-D. What I mean by that is I want all primitives stored in a database, code primitives, not runtime primitives, so I can reference functions via DB calls instead of files. Do you see the 3D file manager video I made? I haven't checked your channel in a little while. I've got a bunch of other things to finish first, but I'll check it out soon. Change directory and turn on and launches making a new space dedicated to that folder. Yeah, I think in my opinion, this is an unexplored but potentially very like fruitful, but also like a big part of getting people to use something is like teaching people how it works, and people already know how to navigate around in a 3D space and like look for stuff or like open containers and things. Speaking of making general 3D computing interface, first thing I imagine is things fluidly moving around, making space for each other, making portals, but to take advantage of human spatial memory. I guess that would all be forgone. Oh yeah, I had noticed bugs.
Went to hell, I met some friends. You know it's not that bad.
You got me hypnotized by the way you look at.
Lucid days, I'm getting closer to unlock my consciousness. The poison's only building up my tolerance. We were never born to be the obvious, isn't it obvious? Time is slipping, dials spinning. I still wonder if I'm dreaming, or maybe I'm the only one who's wide awake. Am I the only one? Feel like I'm ascending. I've planned every step, I've seen everything, so it's no surprise I can't sleep. It's just the push that I need. I've gone past the point, I'm all in. I know that you're thinking that you're really gonna do it, but you never really do it like me. Time is slipping, dials spinning. I still wonder if I'm dreaming, or maybe I'm the only one who's wide awake. Am I the only one to know where we are? Am I the only one to know where we are? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? Am I the only one?
Try to break us, but we won't back down. Destroy us, we'll always be around. Loud sound, big missile jumping from the clouds. Watch your step in this torn up town. We're fighting for you to come back home soon. The family's miss you. Lost now, but we see you.
take the light with you when you go. Party to the sun, see you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love, but we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? DJ keep playing the music, she throwing it back, she too thick. The way she move, she ruthless, she straight to the point like a toothpick. She asked can we take us a photo, only if I can take you to Ruth Chris. She laughed and said that's funny though, we got a deal if you bring the music. We put our cups in the air like we don't care, like we in the 90s. Stars in the sky, I'm feeling so high, the lights on the screen are just blinding. I don't even care, caressing your hair, enjoying the night cause we vibing. Not worried about tomorrow at all, cause we gonna party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun?
Never give up on loving you. Good night. Some things aren't meant to be fair. I know you left me down and out, and now the red is red. Got that hit on your head. Should've buried your dead. Should've listened to me and said, oh, how little you know. You better watch out, my
I've been drinking water for some time, picking up the parts of all my life. Didn't get to solve it this time. How am I to break apart? Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn, I'll follow you to carry on. On the break of dawn,
like a beacon of bright stars. I was alive for wandering far until I found a lighthouse guiding me out the dark. When I'm scared, I send a flare and you're here in a flash. When I ask, oh dear love, where did we come from? You say that like the sun. I had the will and mission, but the wrong position. I was open, praying for a sign until I found a lighthouse in your heart, shining like a beacon of bright stars. I was alive for wandering far until I found a lighthouse guiding me out the dark. The wolf she cried.